In this video, we are going to be looking at the meaning of connotation. Now, words have two kinds of meanings, connotative and denotative, right? So, in the next video, we're going to look at denotation, but in this video, let us understand what is connotation. Now, I would like to draw your attention to the visual that I have over here. Now, connotation would mean a certain negative or positive feel which a word gives you. Now, in a minute, you will understand what I'm trying to say. Now, look at the word visitor. Now, visitor, does it have a positive or a negative connotation? It's just neutral. You have a visitor. Now, the moment I say we have a guest, we're going to have guests tonight. So, guest becomes the word itself is positive. There's a positive ring to it, there's a positive feel to it. So the moment you say the word guest, you think of family dinners and uh, fun and revelry and enjoyment and merrymaking, or maybe some quiet chatting and conversations, right? So all of this would imply something positive. It generates a positive feel. But if we say intruder, intruder is someone who comes unannounced, right? Intruder immediately has a negative connotation, right? So, certain words have connotations embedded in them inherently. I will give you another example. Now, for example, if someone is overweight, and if you say, "Oh, you are so fat," that is never a compliment, right? You can't compliment someone by calling them fat, not humans, right? You can always say I have a she's getting a fat salary, right? Or it's a fat amount of money, where it has a positive connotation. But when it comes to complimenting someone, you will always notice that if you say to people, oh, you, uh, you you've become thinner, people will always like it, rather than saying you have become fatter. So there, then in that case we say, um, you've become healthier, because healthy has a positive connotation. Fat does not have as much of a positive connotation. Though I think we should now, it's high time we should shake words of their connotative baggage, and we should try to reappropriate these words, because obviously for there is nothing called the perfect body, and I'm all for that. And actually we should not equate fat bodies to bad bodies, because every kind of body needs to be celebrated, and every type of body is beautiful, right? It is only because um, as humans, we have created these standards that, oh, you need to have this, a body of this size, a body type like this. That is why anyone who doesn't fall into that category, you just kind of they just don't fit in. Even in the word thin, between thin and slim, you will see thin has a negative connotation. So instead of complimenting someone by saying, oh, you've become so thin, a better word would be to say you've become so slim, or you have slimmed down, right? Not you've become thinner, because thin implies sickness. It implies ill health. It implies probably losing weight for health reasons. Whereas slim implies fitness. Slim implies that the person is exercising. Slim implies that the person is on a good diet. So you see how words are connotative in that sense. Now, positive and negative connotations also depend upon social, cultural, and personal experiences of individuals. So, for example, again, the shared cultural literacy thing, which I've been speaking about in all the preceding videos, that becomes very important. So, for example, if you see childish, childlike, and youthful, they, denotation wise, they are the same. If you go to the dictionary, they will probably mean the same thing, but in terms of their connotation, they are very different. Let us take the words childish and childlike. right? So both are adjectives. She is so childish, she is so childlike. Now, the moment you say childish, you are implying that the person in question is not mature, they can't take decisions, or they are impulsive, or they are cranky. So there's a negative connotation there. So you are actually extricating the negative aspects of a child, and you are loading them in the word childish to describe an adult person. Uh, on the other hand, when you say childlike, you are extracting the positive qualities out of a child, the positive qualities of the ability to love uninhibitedly, the ability to express freely, or the ability to be innocent, to be able to believe very easily, simply, to be happy uh, with simple things, with simple joys. That is being childlike, right? So that word immediately acquires a positive connotation. And youthful, on the other hand, youthful would mean um young looking, or someone with a young person's energy, a young person's vibrance. So again, that would have a positive connotation, right? Now, let's look at some common connotation examples. So, for example, you have this: what do you expect from a politician? Now, what do you think of the word politician over here? Does it have a positive connotation, or does it have a negative connotation? You're right if you have thought that it has a negative connotation, right? What do you expect from a politician? So, politicians, when you're asking this question, the question itself is redundant and rhetorical in nature, as in, you're not expecting an answer actually. You're actually trying to say, और उम्मीद ही क्या कर सकते हैं नेता से, right? So, what do you expect from a politician? Which means all politicians have double standards, all politicians are corrupt, all politicians are opportunists, and so on and so forth, right? Look at the next example. There's no place like home. Now, what do you think is the connotation here? Positive or negative? So you're right if you say, if you think that it's positive, because it is. When you say there's no place like home, you are attributing all feel good, positive uh, kinds of, adjectives or things that the house stands for. So it could be comfort, it could be security, it could be warmth, it could be love, bonding, family, affection. So, no place like home. Hmm? So, that is how words have an inherent connotation in them, and sometimes it also depends on how they are being used, how they are being contextualized. So that was all about connotations.